Ever wondered how mariners stay safe amid all the potential hazards on a ship? Well, the answer lies in a combination of training, vigilance, and a vast array of personal protective equipment, or PPE for short. Just as a knight dons his armor before heading into battle, so too does a seafarer gear up with their PPE before stepping onto the deck of their ship. The sea is a world of its own, majestic yet unpredictable, and working on board a ship can expose crew members to a myriad of risks. These can range from the perils of rough weather to the hazards of handling heavy machinery and cargo, not to mention the potential for slips, trips, and falls. However, with the right safety measures in place, these risks can be significantly mitigated. Enter the indispensable role of PPE. Each piece of protective gear serves a specific purpose, shielding the wearer from different types of harm. We're talking about protective clothing to safeguard against hazardous substances, helmets and safety shoes to shield the head and feet, safety gloves and goggles to protect the hands and eyes, earmuffs or plugs to dampen the noise in engine rooms, safety harnesses for work at height, face masks to filter out harmful particles, chemical suits for handling dangerous substances, and welding shields to guard against ultraviolet rays. But it's not just about having these safety gears on board. It's about knowing when and how to use them, ensuring they're in good working condition, and making sure everyone on board understands their importance. It's about creating a culture of safety, where each person looks out for their own well-being and that of their shipmates. Let's delve into the specifics of each piece of safety equipment and understand how they contribute to the overall safety. From the humble helmet to the specialized chemical suit, each item has a story to tell, a role to play in keeping seafarers safe as they navigate the world's oceans. Stay tuned as we embark on this journey, exploring the importance of safety at sea, one piece of protective gear at a time. At the front line of defense is the protective clothing. This key gear, often referred to as the dangry or boiler suit, serves as a full-body shield for shipboard crew members. Imagine the many hazardous substances that can be encountered on a ship. You've got hot oil, scalding water, and unpredictable sparks from welding operations, to name a few. These are not things you'd want to come into direct contact with, right? That's where the protective clothing comes in. This coverall is meticulously designed to withstand the harsh conditions on board, ensuring that crew members are well protected from these potential hazards. It's a simple piece of equipment, yet it plays a crucial role in maintaining the safety and well-being of the crew. So whether you're an engineer, a cook, or a deckhand, the protective clothing is your first line of defense. The protective clothing, a simple yet vital barrier between the crew and potential hazards. Next up, we have the helmet and safety shoes. The helmet, an essential piece of protective equipment, shields the most critical part of the human body, the head. Crafted from hard plastic, these helmets are designed to withstand a substantial impact, safeguarding the wearer from potential head injuries. A chin strap is often integrated to keep the helmet securely in place, even during an unexpected trip or fall. Moving down to our feet, let's talk about safety shoes. The ship's internal space is predominantly occupied by cargo and machinery, creating a somewhat challenging environment for crew members to move around. It's here where safety shoes become indispensable. These shoes are specifically designed to protect the crew members' feet from any mishaps while working or simply walking on board. They provide not only protection, but also the grip and stability needed on the metallic and often slippery floors of a ship. With the right helmet and safety shoes, a crew member can navigate through the ship with confidence. Let's talk about the safety hand gloves and goggles. You see, on board a ship, there's an array of hand gloves that serve different purposes. They're like a second skin, protecting your hands from all sorts of hazards. You have the heat-resistant gloves, which are invaluable when working on hot surfaces. Then, there are the cotton gloves for regular operations and the specialized welding gloves. And let's not forget the chemical gloves, which are your shield against harmful substances. Now, on to goggles. It's no secret that our eyes are some of the most sensitive parts of our bodies. This is particularly true on a ship where the risk of eye injury is high. Protective glass or goggles are your eye's personal bodyguards, shielding them from harm. Welding operations, for instance, require welding goggles which protect your eyes from the intense sparks. Hand gloves and goggles, your hands and eyes, best friends on a ship. Moving on to the ear muff, plug, and safety harness. The engine room of a ship can produce a staggering 110 to 120 decibels of sound. That's louder than a rock concert and can lead to headaches, irritation, and even partial or full hearing loss with just a few minutes of exposure. This is where the ear muff or earplug becomes an essential piece of protective equipment. It dampens the noise, bringing it down to a bearable and safer decibel level. Now, let's talk about the safety harness. A ship isn't just a workplace, it's a massive structure with high and elevated surfaces. Routine operations often require crew members to reach these areas for maintenance, painting, and other tasks. The safety harness is a lifesaver in these situations. It's worn by the operator on one end and securely tied to a strong point on the other. This setup helps prevent falls and ensures the safety of the crew member. Ear muffs, plugs, and safety harnesses, ensuring safety from sound and heights. Finally, let's look at the face mask, chemical suit, and welding shield. When it comes to the nitty-gritty of ship maintenance, certain tasks can expose crew members to potentially harmful particles. Enter the face mask, a simple yet effective piece of equipment. Whether you're working on insulation surfaces, painting, or doing carbon cleaning, face masks act as a shield, ensuring that these hazardous particles don't find their way into your respiratory system. Remember, when the air gets tough, the tough put on their face masks. Now let's move on to the chemical suit. As you might know, dealing with chemicals is part and parcel of life on board a ship. Some of these chemicals, however, can pose a serious risk if they come into direct contact with your skin. That's where the chemical suit comes in. This handy piece of protective gear is designed to keep you safe from any dangerous chemical interactions. Think of it as your personal bodyguard standing between you and any chemical threats. Last but certainly not least, we have the welding shield. Welding is a common operation on board for structural repairs, but it comes with its own set of risks. The sparks that fly during welding emit ultraviolet rays that can cause serious harm to your eyes. But fear not, the welding shield is here to save the day. This piece of equipment protects your eyes from coming into direct contact with these harmful rays. It's like having a personal sunblock for your eyes, keeping them safe and sound while you work. Each of these pieces of equipment, the face mask, chemical suit, and welding shield, play a crucial role in ensuring the safety of crew members. They may seem simple, but they are powerful tools in the fight against occupational hazards at sea. Face masks, chemical suits, and welding shields, the final line of defense in a mariner's safety arsenal. So, that's a quick tour of the safety measures on board a ship. Let's revisit what we've covered. Each piece of personal protective equipment aboard a ship serves a unique yet intertwined purpose to safeguard the crew from potential hazards. We began with the protective clothing, or the dangry, which shields the crew from elements such as hot oil, water, and welding sparks. This coverall is the first line of defense against physical dangers. Next, we examine the helmet and safety shoes. The helmet, with its hard plastic shell and chin strap, is a fortress for the most critical part of the human body, the head. Safety shoes, on the other hand, protect the feet from the hard metal and machinery that fill the ship's interior. Then, we looked at safety hand gloves and goggles. Diverse in their types, these gloves serve to protect hands from heat, chemicals, and other operational hazards. Goggles, meanwhile, shield the eyes, our most sensitive sensory organs, from injuries and high-intensity sparks. The ear muff or plug is another vital gear, with the ship's engine room producing sound levels that can cause headaches, irritation, and even hearing loss. These devices dampen the noise to a bearable decibel value, ensuring auditory safety. We also discussed the safety harness, which acts as a lifeline when crew members are working on high and inaccessible areas. This equipment prevents potential falls and injuries. Face masks and chemical suits are equally essential. Face masks keep out hazardous particles during insulation work, painting, or carbon cleaning, while chemical suits protect the skin from harmful chemicals. Lastly, we touched on the welding shield, a crucial protective gear for welders that shields the eyes from the ultraviolet rays of welding sparks. Remember, safety at sea isn't just about equipment, it's about the right attitude and awareness. Stay safe, mariners.